been a long time coming, my boy.
Finally, bro. Finally.
I am no one special.
We're gonna turn this up. Just vibe with us for a little
I've
bit.
done so good to make you special, but
I've been waiting for this one right here.
to live a life that will make it in. I'm blessed
Y'all hear it?
to never stress because he covers me. Don't be
He does this in real life too.
see me in the magazine. What can
The
I
man
say?
that I have with me
I belong to God.
has for show became more than a friend. He is definitely family. This dude has been there literally since day one. Since I've been around the 805 era. This dude is more than a man. I can make this whole podcast the damn intro. He is more than a blessing. This dude is a living miracle. He does right by the Lord. Don't be surprised if you hear some vocals. He does right by the ones that are close to him. He even does right to the ones that are close to the ones that are close to him. This man can pray. I have watched him move crowds. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and shut up now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to give a big round of applause for my boy, Troy Anthony.
Finally sit with you, my brother.
You are loved. And that's an understatement.
It's all God, bro. It is all God. To God be the glory for all the good things that he's done in my life. That's all I got.
And that's what he keep doing for you, but it's not just like I said. He look out for the ones close to you too, because you see what I got going on. You see what we got going on. This ain't just for me. This is for us.
Yes,
and that's
for real.
something that I preach all the time.
Yes,
You know, and I'm just glad that you're able to be a part of it.
absolutely.
The track that I was playing. Let me tell. Hold on. Excuse the vision. Life I Choose. Is this an EP or album? The Shades of Red.
Shades of Red. It is an album because it is. I think it's like 10 songs. So it's the first album that I've put together with this many tracks on one album. And the first one was an EP. It was only like 4 or 5 songs. That one is West Coast Inspiration. But this one is different shades and different sounds of the music that I put together. So it's a little R&B. It's a little churchy. Just a little bit of just different kind of this is a different shade of red. And I call
you see what he
myself
did
Red.
there? That was tight. That was tight.
It's a different shade of the music that I produce because I'm used to very church, very praise and worship. So this is something for my audience that doesn't go to church all the time, not very God conscious. Them tricking them into singing and learning scripture because it's all scripture based, but it sounds like R&B.
I want to use another word. I don't want to use trick. I don't want to use trick. You know, 'cause it's definitely putting the
Yes.
medicine in the candy.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? It's putting the medicine in the candy.
Changing the way that it's presented so
Right.
that you don't automatically feel triggered by that old school grandma sound and the things that may have made people steer away from going to church. I want to encourage people with love and uplifting, and even if it doesn't inspire them to go back to church, it will inspire someone to feel better, inspire somebody to have hope, and just go forward. And in the end, hopefully they do find their way to Christ, but if not, at least do better.
1,000%.
Yes, sir.
So I noticed, let's get into music. Let's get into the making of your music. So I think it's called stacking.
Yes.
When it sounds like more than one person.
Yes.
How many times do you stack?
So I do soprano, which is the top note. like 4 times, and then I do alto like 4 times, and then I do tenor like 4 times, and then we pan them around depending on the heaviness of the song. Sometimes I do 6, 6, and 6. If it's very light and it's more hip hop, sometimes I just do 3, 3, and 3. But my golden number, I really like 4, so that I can put 2 on each side, and I kind of split them down the middle and pan them around the ear, so that at every point it just makes that full rich harmony.
You get to feel it. You're in the music. How long does that take? Because I don't know how to do it, but I can imagine. I've been in a few studio sessions where it's like, nah, do that again, do that again.
Yes. Honestly, man, I have been sitting with music. I've been singing since I've been 2 years old. So since a very young age, my mom would drive in the car. She would make me sing with her. She would make me harmonize. I was always in the choir, which was me always growing up and having to sing with other people, and it wasn't a studio session, but it was still layering, because you had all the girls over there singing one note, all the girls over here singing another note, and then the guys in the middle singing another note. So as we're learning a song, they're like, hey, that's not it, we're going here. So I'm listening, and I'm training my ear from a very young age on how to match harmony, how to blend. So when I started getting into the studio, it was now trying to process how I sound on the recording as versus how I sound right now. So it was that was the challenge, and that was in the very beginning when I was like in high school, my first time getting in the studios, and at that point I was just doing choruses. But even then, I didn't know what it meant to stack. I just thought I sang it once, that was cool. Next one, that's cool. Next one, and they're like, no, I need you to do it again. I'm like, the same one? They're like, yeah. I'm like,
yeah, that's
what do you mean the same one?
I was like,
so
that
they're
too.
Like, over and over and over again, and then we got to do it again to make sure that all of those are the same. I'm like, what? So that was my first time realizing that, because I didn't know that the recordings that we hear all these years was just, I thought it was just, I didn't know. So that's when I learned that. But once I realized that that's what it was supposed to do, I mastered it, because I know I sing on key. I know my stuff when I go in. So when I started learning how to record, I knew, okay, now when I show up to the studio session, I can't get to the studio session still trying to figure it out. I come in knowing what I'm singing and how I want it to go. So my studio sessions are, you give me 4 hours, I'm gonna knock out 4 or 5 songs, because I'm gonna go. I already know my harmony. So first take, boom. Second take, and I do them exactly the same. Next, exactly the same. Next. Every now and then I'll stop and have to do it again because of my voice, or I need some water or whatever, and I'm a hard singer. It's the lead that makes me do all the back and forth, because I kind of get crazy as I'm leading.
I've seen it.
But that background part, just this morning, bro, I was in the studio. I got home from work like 8:30 this morning. I had been working on it all night. I was supposed to go to sleep, but I had to just real quick. So it took me about an hour, and I knocked out 2 brand new songs. Laid all the harmonies down, like I just said. I haven't finished it, obviously, but I laid all the harmonies down, and then I sang the lead over it, so that I can sit with the song and listen to it for a professional recording. This is the type of practice I put in all the time. So when I do get into a studio session, time is money. I don't have all time all day to be wasting 4 hours on a song. So if you give me 4 hours, I'm knocking them out, so that the engineer can do his job next. Which I do too, but I don't have the patience to sit, because I went to the Los Angeles Film School to learn how to produce my own music, and or how to engineer my own music, and there is no quick key for all 4 of those sopranos. So I gotta fix one, edit one completely, and then I gotta go to the next one, fix that one, edit that one completely, add all the stuff, and then the next one, all the way to, and I'm just told you how many, what's 4?
Yeah, like it's like 12, 12, 16.
12 voices that I now have to sit and work with each by one. I don't have the patience. I already sat there for 2-3 hours singing it. I don't want to go back and now have to sit and do that part, and it's a very tedious job. And then after you do all that, you got to master the whole track, and then all the instruments, and then it's just a lot of work, bro.
That sounds like editing. When I used to, before I discovered AI.
Exactly.
You tried to use AI? I know it sounds crazy,
I
but
wish AI could just make my music right. I just sing one time and then say, okay, we got you. That would be fantastic.
Man, there was this one AI thing. Like, I was on another podcast. Shout out to Ventura Tide Pod. Dang, I can't think of what the app is, but all he would do, he would type in the type of music, he would put like keywords, and he would just push go. And 2 minutes later, you have like a 2-3 minute track.
That's crazy.
And just harmonizing and singing and sometimes rapping. I was like, what?
That is crazy.
But look into
Technology is wild, bro. I might do that just to hear it and then go record the song, because it would be mine. I can copyright it because it was created now by me.
Yeah, it's yours. True, it's
That
your
would be
likeness. All that, all the technical words. It's your likeness. It's your well-being. I don't know. But you said
That's dope.
You said you started singing when you was 2.
2 years old, bro.
How old were you when you knew that you could sing?
I was I'm not gonna say forced, but I did enjoy singing all of my, I was gonna say teenage, but my childhood years. But I was, like I said, I was 2. So after that, just being in church from that point on, all I knew is that I sing. That's all I ever knew. My first grade teacher, she would tell my mom, like, you know, one day this boy is gonna be a superstar, because they can see it at that age. Like, he's not just singing, but like he's got some. He's really got a voice. There's a tone. Like, he's different from these other kids in the talent show. He's like going off. We can't get him to sit down and do his homework or his classwork, because he in the back tapping on the tables with pencils and making beats, or he in the back singing, or came in his own world back there. No, I'm back there singing praise and worship. I'm supposed to be doing classwork. So. It wasn't until I got to high school that I decided, or that I found out, like, oh, girls like when I sing. I actually can make this something. Like, let me start trying to be an R&B artist. I think everybody's following me. I was so popular in high school because of my singing, and at the time, the girl I was with, she could also sing. So we were just like, everybody was just in awe of, like, man, you're a singer. Like, this is so cool. Everybody knew me by that singer, like Red that sings. So I was like, this actually could be something I can actually do. It wasn't until then. I knew I could sing before that. I've always been a singer, so I always knew I could sing, but it was just second nature. When I got to high school is when I realized, like, I can probably make money for this. So that's when I started thinking, like, people are telling me, like, I know this person, know that person. Jagged Edge had reached out I was going to say it was this song, because I wrote this song in high school. It's just now came out. But I wrote Life I Chose years ago. And there's a song that they heard that they wanted to get on, and they wanted to work with me on. I want to say it's this one. Destiny could tell you, but I can't remember. She would remember. Man. But at that point, I realized I was working with a few people that, everybody think they're a producer when you're growing up. Yeah. And there was a few people that thought they was that guy, and like, oh, we gonna take you to the studio, and we in your kitchen with egg cartons. Hey man, pull up to the studio, man. Come lay something down, man. Like, oh my God! And it was cool. These are all the situations that groomed me, because I know how to take the meat, leave the bones. There's certain places where I worked with them, like, okay, I like this. I'm gonna adapt this into my new thing. And then there's other people where it was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna take anything from this. But that's when I realized, like, if Jagged Edge was to do that means I could potentially be famous, or I could just have money. And get them credits. That's what I'm saying. If they're singing the song I wrote, and that's when I started researching, what does that mean? And me and my mom were talking about it, and we began to pray and trying to figure out if that's what, the route I was going. But it would have been nice to have them purchase the song and then go do it and just give me royalties. Got it. But I didn't know. I wasn't thinking that at that time. Yeah. We're just thinking about, it's the R&B and Yeah. You serve the Lord and stay with Jesus. It's Jagged Edge. But Jagged Edge was cool. But at that time, I was like 15 or 16, so we didn't know. We weren't really prepared or thinking about preparing to be a superstar or preparing to be a star or anything of that magnitude. I just sing in church because that's what I do. I glorify God. I'm a minister. It wasn't about any monetary anything. So when I got to high school, I was like, you know what? I actually want to do this as a career. So I started recording. I started singing. I'm like, I think I'm gonna try to be that nigga. There is a video, right? I can't remember if I sent it to you or not, but I immediately thought about you. This dude, he was in the chair, and he hit every note. Just J Moss. I don't know, but he had glasses on and he had a mask on. Sound like J Moss. Had to be J Moss. I think I know what you're talking about. I love you. I was like, Troy. Maybe Anthony. Rance Allen. Now you did that. It kind of sounded like Rance Allen. He was just like this the whole time. Just, I love you, Jesus. That's what I love that. That's something my favorite about part. The name Jesus. Yes. It is a sweet. I watched that video like 12 times because the only note that I could hit was a. I love when non-singers impersonate. Man, I was like, Troy. 1,000%. I think one of my students had like a full-blown escalation, so I had to put the phone down. Yes. But I was like, I lost it. I can't find it. I didn't look at the tags. It was just a black dude with glasses, and it reminded me of me because of the damn glasses. Was he older, heavy set? No, it was a little skinny dude. He might have been like. Oh, he was impersonating. Yes. The guy I'm talking about. And then He was in class. He was
Yes.
sitting with all the chairs. He is a fool, man. He's so.
I was done.
I can't think of his name right now. I think it's Will or I can't think of his name, but he's a talented artist.
I think he can sing for real.
No, he does. He put a single out. I think last year, or year before last. He's a gospel artist.
Man, so the closest to I was in a choir. I think everybody. I'm kind of convinced.
If you was raised in church,
If you was in the hood, you was at church with Granny.
somebody grandmother had you,
You know
in
what I'm
church,
saying? Like big
especially if you was in the hood, because they always
Man,
do.
what?
Bring that baby to church.
Bring them. I was in the choir. I was on the drill team. It didn't work out because I can't sing. But it was I get it now.
In a choir, you can sing if you listen, because there's a note in a choir that you can follow, and you could be yes. You could do that if you're hearing it over and over again without being a vocalist. So that's why everybody was in the choir, and there's a lot of young men that were doing it, and then nowadays they're like, no, I don't do that. I don't sing. No, you may not be a vocalist, but you can probably match pitch and hold those notes long enough to get by in church.
And when I dropped them notes, I had my people to pick me up. They picked it up.
For real, I feel you.
Something about name G.
See, that's close enough. If you was in a group of 12 other people just doing that, you on key, and you would be able to sing in that choir.
What's your favorite song to sing?
Oh,
one
man,
of yours? It's a 2-part question. Your favorite song to sing, and
mean a song I wrote?
Yeah, like a song that you wrote, a song of yours, and then a song that was written by somebody else, but you sing it better than them.
I'm gonna say better than them, but well, for me, from my own song, "Life I Chose" is one of my favorite songs on the record, on the album. Out of all my collections, it means a lot because of how long I've been envisioning that song sounding like how it sounds today. And I didn't rewrite it, but it was sung differently over the years because it's just a song that has been with me for a long time. But I really enjoy the instrumentation of that song and the way that it flows and just that R&B, old school, chill, lounge vibe. And then I come on here and I'm giving Jesus on it and I'm singing my heart out. So when I sing that song, I love when it comes on. It's just very smooth and everybody's I've got to perform it maybe once or twice and people are just like, okay. Then when that beat's that down, everybody's like, okay. And then I start singing it like, okay. And then the harmonies come in like, okay. So it just comes as just a vibe. I love that song.
I've seen it.
Can't lie to you. I really do love that song. And another one of my favorite songs is "Bless the Lord" by Ty Tribbett. I sing that song. The church that I lead worship at is no praise team right now. It's just me and the band. Man, any time of day, just waking up, I can sing that song, and it is going to be a vibe. As long as the band good, I can kill that song anywhere I go, and it's just so good. I will bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Bless His holy name. And it's just a dun 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 dun. You know, Ty Tribbett, if you ever seen Ty Tribbett, he's just an amazing performer. He's like, the youth really resonate with him when he performs because he brings that hip hop vibe. He brings just a whole nother sound and a meaning to gospel music. And that song I can tear the house up with anytime, anywhere.
The closest. Okay, so how do I say this? When I was heavy in church when I was younger, I had found out that Brent Jones and the TP Mob started at my great granddaddy church. That's church family.
Wow.
And my mom, she said it so casually, but oh yeah, Brent is here, or they're about to go sing in the choir. I didn't know. I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't know. I was a little kid, but when I heard him on the radio one Sunday, and then
good times.
I was
everything will be all right.
that's him?
Yeah.
I was like, that's the one. She's like, yeah, that's Brent. That's church family. I was like, dang.
That's crazy.
There was Destiny's birthday.
Yes.
Right? We did karaoke. I think you were definitely like top 3 singers that night. The night that Missy was supposed to show up, but Chris Brown showed up instead.
Yes.
That's when I knew, like that, because I've seen you sing at church.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen you sing at church, and I was like, okay, he's at home, he's comfortable. You supposed to do that. You know, everybody's hard in their hood until you go somewhere else.
Exactly.
Not this guy. This guy, he sang everywhere, and when I watched people stop doing what they was doing, we in the club, we had our section, everybody else got their section. There's bottles, there's, you know what I mean. We got girls from, what is it, House of Hollywood or whoever it was. Chris Brown is feet away
in the
from
corner,
us, and you are just gassing.
Tommy Lee drunk and falling all over the stage.
That's who it was. That's who it was. I popped out on Hollywood Unlocked. I was right there.
Yeah.
It's like, but just to watch everybody react to you and they vibing, and I just watched you just head up, chest out, eyes closed, singing. Did you even realize that people gravitated towards you? Because it was crazy.
At that point, yes, I'm used to it. That I knew that they was about to, because they call your name, and people, especially in that type of environment, is open mic, so not everybody get up there and is actually a vocalist.
Right.
So every now and then when somebody good gets up, like everybody's talking, like the song comes on, they're cheering because they know this song.
Yeah.
But then when he starts singing, and that's why right before I sing, especially I'm in the club. Now, if we were in the club, I'm enjoying this for just pure entertainment because it's not worship. I'm not ministering. So my hair is down. I'm chilling. I'm just having a good time. So now I get to really play around. And when I'm in worship at church, I try not to be as loose with my runs and being crazy. And I know some people would hear that and say, he'll lie, he's sing and run all the time. But I do tone it down a little bit in church because I want God to take over and the anointing to move so that people can hear what I'm saying and actually worship God with me. Now, there are a lot of times where, one of my mechanisms, if I'm uncomfortable or if something isn't right or if somebody's messing up, I'm just going to run. That's just what I do. So sometimes when I'm nervous, I may run too much. But for the most part, if I'm confident and I'm comfortable and I'm in worship, I do my best not to have as much of that extra because I'm trying to set the tone, and I'm trying to make the atmosphere conducive for God to move on the people he's trying to move on. But when I'm in the club, the times that I've been invited and I get to sing R&B, I'm just finna let my hair down and have a good time. So when I first get up, I start off with they hear the music, dun 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 dun. Everybody's like, oh, that's my jam, dun 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 dun, and I just be, whoa. Now everybody's like, oh,
yeah, like, oh, he sang for real,
coming over to the
like,
stage,
well,
like, no, this is a real guy. He's about to sing.
Yeah,
Cause I gave him that first note, let him know whatever y'all doing. Come on over here. Let me give y'all a show real quick. Now I'm going in because now they're all engaged. They're pulling their phones out like, oh my God, he can actually sing. What's your name? What's your name? And then I just enjoy it. I love to entertain, bro. And I just start going in. I get everybody involved. Try to get everybody involved and try to make that moment so that they remember who I am or what it is that I'm bringing to the table.
Man, I looked at Tina and was like, yo, he does this. I'm like, I know he does this, but he's doing it in front of like 150 people.
Yes.
Tina, you remember that for Destiny's birthday? The queen just walked in, y'all. She want to fix angles so bad. Don't worry, I'm going to edit it straight. I know, I'm going to angle it straight in the editing. I know. It would, trust me.
That's the helper. That's what the wife is supposed to do. She's supposed to come in and fix where you are messing up. You see what he did?
That? You saw what we did with the chair? You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I got my blue one. You got his red one. You know what I'm saying?
I was trying to figure out like how you just know I was gonna have on red today. You didn't know I was gonna wear red. I started to wear a blue shirt. Well, not blue, but I started to just wear black, but because I gotta go to work later. But I was like, no, let me put on.
His name is I Am Red on Instagram, y'all.
The album cover is red. The hair is naturally red. That's where it came from. So my hair.
Shades of red. The song that I was playing was I choose
Life I Chose.
Life I Chose. It was just dope to cause I ain't gonna lie, I might have fanboyed, even besides us knowing each other. I might have fanboyed like, dang, everybody, I'm playing it cool. Like, I'll kick it right here. That's my homeboy right there. You know, I know him for real. But man, like,
It was a blast, bro. And I go there every now and then, and I didn't even know. So that was the second time that I've been there and sang when you guys came. The first time when I went there, I didn't even know it was star-studded like that. I didn't know that they were hiding in the corner. So the last time I sang Yearning by the Gap Band, and right after I sang, the guy, he played a song, and he said, we're going to have Neo come up to the stage. So I'm sitting outside.
You did it before Neo?
I'm sitting outside, and I'm like, oh, somebody must be calling himself Neo. Okay, let's see who this is, right? And I didn't even go or nothing. I hear the man start singing, and I'm looking, I'm like, wait. I see other people going inside. I said, that was actually Neo. I went inside, and I'm like, wait a minute. This man is literally right. He just sat there and watched me sing, which is a vibe. And then multiple other artists that are sitting in a room that are just chilling. And then the fact that Chris Brown, one of my favorite artists, like, he is a GOAT. This man, I was watching his interview, and he put out 40 songs on his last album. And Big Boy asked him, how many songs did you write for that album? He's like, 250. I said 250 songs, and then he's like, and how did you narrow down the weakest links from this to that? Now, first of all, who puts an album with 40 songs? I'm still getting to know all the songs. I mean, I listen to it religiously, so I do know all of them by now, but it took me like a month, and then a song I haven't heard come on rotation. I'm like, oh, what song is this? Oh, this was on the album. I didn't even hear this one.
Like
he is a beast,
he got a lot
bro.
of slept on.
The way he sits and creates and does what he does is just so fantastic. So I want to be like the Chris Brown of gospel. So some of this music, to be honest, what I wanted to name this was Chris Brown gospel. And people would have been like, "What does that mean?" And I wouldn't have been able to explain it, so I couldn't do it. But I wanted to make it like there's one, maybe not each song, but there's one song in there particularly, and it's called "Feels Like Forever." When I heard that song, I'm like, "This is something Chris Brown would do." And I'm like, this song right here, I should just call this Chris Brown gospel, because that's how I was feeling. But I want to be able to drop that many of songs in the Christian world, and all these different flavors, and featuring all these people, and he's just fantastic. So to know he was sitting there watching me perform is the point I was getting to.
Okay, so he did get to see you.
Oh yeah,
because I was tripping.
Him and his whole crew. Before I sang, I knew he was there because he came in, and I was like, I can't even believe this. And he's sitting in the back corner in front of the TV, and they were just looking at the screen while I was singing. I was trying to pay attention and perform, but my whole mind was just my guy is right here watching me sing right now. This
is hoop and Iverson walk in there.
Oh my God.
Actively Black. Shout out to Actively Black. You know what I'm saying? I got the pants on, the hat. Come on, we need sponsors up in here.
That was a moment. That was a moment. And he shook my hand, and I'm the type of person that I try not to say things that are cocky or whatever, but I'm the type of person people don't forget. So if you heard my voice, a lot of times people don't forgive me even if they haven't heard my voice because of my red hair and freckles. So they'll see me and be like, oh, I remember you. And I'm like, oh, do you? God bless you. Good to see you. And I'm like trying to remember how, and I feel feeling bad because it happens all the time.
Story of my life.
There's times where when I meet people like him, I just want to make sure that I shake your hand, that we made eye contact. I said something to you. You said something to me. Okay, cool. Because I'm coming. And I'm going to get to that place one day.
Yeah.
And we're going to have another conversation where it's going to be like, I remember you. And then it's going to be more of a familiar vibe because I'm not really starstruck. I've worked all the award shows this year and last year as a security guard. So I meet these different people and these different stars. And like Viola Davis and her husband, I met them at the Golden Globe Awards. And my job was to tell the artists to come in and go take their pictures, and then the people that are with you need to come around on the other side. You know the pictures you see that everybody takes at the awards?
Yeah, that big wall.
Yeah. I'm standing there separating the people, the talent, from the people that are the agents and everybody around them. Like, you guys go around, take their stuff to the other side, and we'll see you on the other side. So I met almost every single actor in Hollywood that day. I mean, I'm not kidding you. If you name them, I sat there and was laughing with Seth. Is it Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
I mean, he's the same person. His voice is crazy.
It's
Martin Lawrence walks up behind me and goes like this on my shoulder, like, "What's up, young man?" I'm like, this way.
That's LA.
Like, I was just chilling, but they would come up to me, and then what's her name? You know, Freaky Friday, the movie Freaky Friday. Yeah. What's the mom's name? I can't think of her name.
I didn't see the movie, but I heard of it.
I'm so bad with names, but
and I like that song too.
She's a superstar. She's the mom. She's on all these shows. She came up to me, she's like, "Oh, I just love your hair, blah blah blah." She's like, "So what movie are you in? What are you what award are you getting today?" And I was like, "Well, I'm just security, and my job was to separate the talent."
I'm not. I got nominated. I
But
probably ain't gonna
I
win.
said, well, I'm just here supporting the music department today for X, Y, and Z. I'm getting paid to do security. I ain't even supposed to be talking.
Man, don't
and it
let
was just
me.
so funny. But I was saying that to say that like Viola Davis and everybody hates Chris. What's his name? His name is Tyler James, I think it is. Anyways, I met him that day, right? So then when I worked the that was the Golden Globe Awards. When I worked the it was the Grammy Awards. When I worked the Grammy Awards, I was doing the same thing. So some of those same actors that came to the Golden Globe Awards, which is for actors, they came to support people for the music that were in their films. So they were still at the Grammy Awards representing the music that may have been in a film that they were nominated for. So I saw Viola again, and this time I'm standing in line.
She remembered you?
She waved at me, and her husband walked
Hell
around. I gotta say names because I'm sitting here tripping. Like he walked around. Anyway, he walked around like 3 stars and excuse me, and came straight to me like, shaking his hand like, "What's up, young man? How you doing?" And I thought he was going past me, but I was like, "Oh, I'm good, bro.
That's
Like it's good to see you." Like that was so kind of you to step around and speak to me like a nobody, but you knew from a distance who I was, brother. Did not forget my face. Tyler James, he walked right up to me that second time. The first time I just told him what's up, and told me to fly. You know, I appreciate I've seen you as a little kid. I can't believe you're an adult now, and just chilling.
Yeah, it's
and then this
crazy.
time he walked right up to me like, "Oh, what's up? Good to see you again." I'm like, "You remember?"
Yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy. So I always make a point to when I meet somebody, if somebody's heard me sing, to my networking is just making sure they shook my hand. I spoke to you and I told you my name.
First
because
impressions.
I believe that God is going to take me to that place one day. I believe that my talent is going to open doors and bring me before great men eventually. And when that time comes, these people are going to be like, "Oh, I remember you, young man." And it's going to be familiar when I walk into a place. It's like, "Oh, come sit with us." Like, I want that type of vibe. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna get to that point where it's like, "Hey, Chris, you want the first, the second, or the third verse, man? Which one you want to get on?
Man,
I'm gonna let you pick."
I can't even imagine.
I had a couple moments like that. One was with a rapper, my favorite female artist. I got to see her a few times. She remembered who I was, but the one that did it for me was Mike Epps.
Okay.
So he came out here. He came to Levity. One of my boys now, he introduced me, and first he was like, "Oh yeah, you're the one who said that joke," and I was like, "Yeah, that was me." So we chopped it up. Oh, it was only for like a minute or two, and he got out of there. But when we went to the what was it, the Forum? We went to the Forum, and he was hosting, so he was bringing somebody up. But before he brought somebody up, we were kind of like walking to our seats, and I was looking at him. And then he like looked at me, and he just gave me like a little one of these. Yeah. And I was like,
"We remember, like you got me."
Okay.
Like, yes, bro.
I was like, "Tinny, you didn't see that?" She's like, "No, I was looking for our seats." I was like, "Dang it!"
Of course,
because Mike Epps, that's my number one right there. That's my number one because he reminded me of me just real smart and slow at the same time, and just you could just be in a room and just be funny as hell for no reason. That's why that's my favorite comedian. But what's up?
I love him.
Get some nachos. Y'all be careful. Be safe. She going to the restaurant.
She going out.
Bye.
Be safe.
So I used to be able, right? I used to be so in tune with music to the point where I can listen to an artist and be able to tell who wrote this song.
Yes.
Or I would be able to hear how many stacks there are. Or I can't do it anymore. Can you do that? Is your ear trained for that?
To hear? No. There's no way. Because in your studio, it's just full. I mean, when you're hearing something, I can not stack, and I can edit it in a way that you would think it was stacked, with all of the effects and putting a large stage reverb on it, or putting that voice into a room. You can do anything. So it won't be as full. I can probably tell that this may not be stacked a lot and it's just stacked a little because there are different ways. But then sometimes it really depends on the engineer. A skilled engineer can take one voice and make it sound like it is a lot or that is bigger than what it is. So I can't say like, "Oh, this is stacked." But there are certain people, like when I listen to Beyonce is stacking.
Yeah.
her music.
Brandy be stacking.
She is
Janet,
layering
Michael
those
yeah.
harmonies, and I've watched and I heard. I can't remember where I've heard that, but I did hear about her doing like 12, 12, and 12, and those engineers take that music and they spread those voices everywhere, and they may not even use all of them, but that woman stacks. And there's sometimes you can hear by all the like you can hear some of the stuff that it's like it breaks out in so much voice that it's like you can't even find them all. There's just, and I know that just from listening, it's like it's everywhere. It's padded everywhere. They're here, they're in the back, they're in the side, they're in the middle. There's something coming every direction of the music that they produce for her, and it's crazy. You can tell who puts more into it and those who don't. You know what I'm saying? But can't really pinpoint this person's using 6. This person I'm hearing 5 right here. I'm hearing 5 soprano. I definitely can't do that.
It's easier to do a rap.
Oh, much
It's
much
way
easier.
easier to do a rap. But I used to be able to do it with some R&B
Even
songs.
rappers got to sometimes do it twice. And
Oh, the double ups?
the double ups, and you got to do all the
Yeah,
Yo.
the ad libs. Yeah,
And then you know what? When
man, that's
I'm really
shit,
bad at
dude.
doing that. I got a friend who is I got a few homies that I've worked on music and I have them come and rap. And I'm like, I don't know how we're gonna do this X part, but it's so funny when they're doing those backgrounds because they just look so stupid. They sound
they
dumb.
just be right there, like listen.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, skirt. Yeah,
so
yeah.
funny to
Oh
me,
wait,
bro.
no, I ain't like that. Punch out, punch out, punch out. I ain't like the way I did that, man. I ain't like the way I did that.
For real.
And I'm just glad just to be there. But
Yeah.
man, if we on the same verse for 45 to an hour because you can't get your ad libs or your
Oh
double
my
ups
God.
right.
It's hard for rappers unless they really know what they're doing. You got to be one of them OGs that come in. Again, it also goes back to a rapper thinking like, oh, I don't write my music. I just freestyle. Everybody not Lil Wayne. It's time you put yourself in your lane and write that music and practice it so that when we get in the studio, you ain't in here, oh, and one more time. Don't one more time me again. This time is money. Just let's run through it and then maybe have to mess up a few times on them overdubs. But even then, when you're rapping the song, you already know what you're saying in the background. Like you already know what you're saying. So sometimes you do got to fix it, but it still comes down to an unprepared artist sometime, I think, when you're in the studio. And that's just because I've mastered it. And I do mess up. I'm not perfect. I do mess up. We do have to start over, especially when I'm singing high. And if it's the wrong day or if I've already been singing
true.
or if my voice isn't where I want it to be, I may have to come back another day because I just did all these background layers. And now I'm trying to do my lead voice. And now my voice is tired or I didn't prepare or I didn't sleep or something like that. So I'm going to have to come back. Or give me an hour. Give me get some water so that I can get that top range back so that I don't record on the track something that is tired because some things you can't fix in the studio. But there's a lot of people that can't sing, and you go in the studio and we hear perfect music.
Yes,
I ain't gonna call nobody out, but Trey Songz is not a performer. I mean, he is not a vocalist. He is a performer. His music in the studio is not the same as him singing live, standing
that's like
on
Miguel
stage.
too.
And Miguel, I've heard that from Miguel. There are a few people that I've been listening to him for a long time. Like, this is dope. Like, this guy's dope. And then I go hear them on live, and I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
Where did that studio voice go? Because now they're singing and they're not on key, and they
Miguel,
can't hit the runs that they hit on the
crazy
record.
lisp. I was like, no not
disrespect
Miguel.
to nobody, but just talking about the
y'all.
craft and how the studio is making people stars, and they are not. Or not, maybe they're not stars, but the studio will make it seem like something that you're doing natural, and you really are not. It is completely created. I'm talking about they will move your note. I was in the studio with Bryn Jones when you brought him up. I just got featured on his newest album.
Talk
and
that.
I was while we were there at the live recording, we sang live. He had the trucks outside. All of the system was connected to the program. They were recording us live. So we do that first. So we have the video. We have the live instrumentation of all the instruments, all the voices. And then we go into the studio and we overdub on top of that recording in the actual studio to make it crisp and bring out sounds that we have, fix areas where we weren't right. And that night at the live recording, I had the song was already too high for me, but I still I wasn't gonna turn it down. Brent Jones telling me to sing the song. I'm gonna find a way.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna sing the song.
happen.
It's gospel. I'm gonna holler through it. I'm gonna figure it out. I tried my best to stay where I could, but anyways, that live recording didn't come out so great the night of because by the time we sang and the day I did not have everything I needed, but I still did it. But there were areas where I went flat. There were areas where I was off, and in the studio, I went to the studio to re-record it, And I wasn't able to do it because we had just did like a 12-hour session or 6 or 8 hours. It was a long time. I don't remember. I just know we was there all night. And I slept for 3 hours and I had to be at service that morning and sing. So we left the studio at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I drove all the way back home, hour drive, because I wasn't prepared to be there that long, to leave. I got home at like 4:25 in the morning. I slept for 60 minutes and I got up and had to prepare to go back because my church is in Carson, and be there by 7:45. So I slept for like 2 hours and then went back and I had to sing hard again by myself, me and the band, no praise team. So I had to kill it twice for the night before. And then after that was like, I need you to come to the studio and redo your part. So I told him I can't do it today. I just don't have no voice. Let's try it tomorrow. Tomorrow I still hadn't had it back the way I wanted to, but I had to go because time is money. I didn't want to lose opportunity. I didn't want him to take me off of it. So I'm like, I'm going to go and try to do the best I can. I did the teas, I did the stuff. So I get to the studio and the engineer's like, okay, we're going to go here. I'm listening to myself on the recording and I can't hit those notes that I hit that day. And most of it was good, but there were parts that I needed to fix. So it was best to just redo the whole thing so that it's all natural from this recording as opposed to me punching in because it's not the same. That was live.
And a trained ear can hear that.
It was really hard, but I knew my own song because I had been singing it and practicing, so I kind of knew my runs, but not 100%. So the guy was like, okay, well, we're going to let's bring it down 2 keys so you can sing it like you want to, and then I'll just take it back up. I was like, what? By this time, I've been in the studio and I've been singing and doing professional recordings for a long time, and I didn't realize you could actually do that. But in my mind, I'm like there's no way that's going to still sound the same because it's going to be computerized.
Yeah.
Sure enough, we tried. It didn't sound the same. But he went to the live recording that I did, and he was like, okay, well, just tell me what you did. Let's try to fix what you did. And I'm going like, I'm like, ah. And then he's like, so I would do it. I did a run that was like a ah, and then but on the track it was like ah. So he was like ah, that one's good. I was like, yeah. He's like ah.
That's trippy.
He's like, where you want it? Right here. Ah. I'm like, it's ah. He's like ah.
Oh, that's
I'm like, oh my God, he's literally moving my voice, bro.
That's scary.
These people are not singing.
That's
if you have
that's
enough
AI.
money. If you have enough money and you've got the right engineer, especially on that level, these people can get away with going in there and just have woke up and hardly sing, and those people will take that and give you a perfect record.
It's crazy.
And then they get on stage, and we're wondering what happened. It's because you don't have the record with you. You
you
got the
used an app
engineer
for that.
on stage
Yep.
with you.
There's an app for that. I mean,
So,
we watch Kendrick do it with Snoop, or not Kendrick. We watch Drake do it with Snoop's voice and Pac's voice. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
How long did it take you to get used to your own voice?
Man, it actually did take a minute, especially because I was still going through like puberty. I don't want to say puberty, but my voice was still changing, so I still had a very a high talking voice. I still don't really have no. I've been trying to get a deep voice for years. And I can't be cool like some of my homies, and I just can't get it. My voice is all over the place. But I think it's because I'm a singer. I don't know, but God didn't give me the cool low tone voice. But in the studio, I would hear myself sing, and that singing voice is so different from just when I'm talking. And I'm like, man, like that. I had to get used to that sound, and then I was kind of nasally at first because I was singing through my nose, so I had to learn how to sing better, and I was singing better from my diaphragm and opening vowels and pronunciation. All these things I learned from just doing it on my own all the time, and then constantly recording. I didn't like that. Doing it again, I didn't like that. Until I got to high school and not even high school, way after high school, because that's when I started. Way after high school, when I started learning, like, okay, this is. I'm probably now at the best that I've ever been when it comes down to being in the studio because of all the time and practice I put into it. So now when I'm in a professional setting, I know what it is that I want. I know where I want it. And then going to school for 6 months and learning how to engineer, I know what I'm not hearing. I know I need more of this. I need more of that. Give me a little reverb. Take this out. And now I know how to layer that sound to make sure that something I may be hearing I don't like, but I know that that's going to change when we put a little reverb and a little this on it. Because naturally, sometimes it just don't sound like it's not going to sound professional.
Right.
It's not a recording. It's not just hearing me record sounds different than me just singing in a room. Even this room has echo that changes my singing voice.
Right.
And even on a microphone, there's stuff that changes my singing voice when I'm live. In the studio, it's just no sound is your voice. And it's like, do you like that? I'm like, I like it, but it's not going to fit on the track, so we have to learn how to build it and make it, bring the reverbs.
You got to let the voice
breathe. We got to
breathe.
make it sound live on the studio like how it would naturally sound in this room. if that makes sense.
Yeah, 1000%. I used to be like crazy just into like sound engineering as far as like where's the sound going.
Yes.
Or even to the extent to where I can hear a snare and it can be vibrating something over. It'll be like a ticking.
Yes.
And I'll could like, because we all know I can't see that well at all, but I can hear.
But you can hear.
I can hear. I can literally.
They say
hear
when
where
one
the sound
sense is low, that it heightens other senses.
Yeah. So like, what would happen? What happens a lot is, like, let's say you're behind me, right, and you yell my name, and I'm looking forward because that's where I hear the sound stay.
Yeah.
You know, or sometimes I'll hear it and it'll bounce off, and I'm like looking around, but the sound's going everywhere.
Right.
That helped so much when it came to like helping set up like just like a surround sound.
Okay.
Like, hey, move that monitor over there. It's too close to this wall, or it's too far from this.
You can hear them bouncing because that's what sound does. It travels.
It's like there's like a half a second relay or a lag or like let's fix this.
Exactly.
Let's correct that. The lows are too lows and the highs are too highs.
Yes.
Why do the mids sound like the lows? Like just stuff like that. I love all
and
that shit.
That's why the padded rooms have been created so that the sound don't bounce as far. And those padded rooms, an empty room like this, I could never record in because you're gonna have all that in the room. So that padding and being in those closed booths allows it to just the sound don't go nowhere but where we want it. We're controlling where it's going. So I definitely hear you on that.
I also learned too, like just so. When we play this back, right now, y'all probably can't even hear the echo. You probably can't. That's when I learned cheap mics and then your expensive mics.
Yep.
Some of these expensive mics, or depending on how you can set it up with the gain and everything like that, some mics will pick up everything.
Oh, my goodness. So I've been recording with the little microphone that my school gave me, which is Audio Technica. It's cool. It's a great mic. You know, I looked it up. I think the mic is maybe $120. Maybe
not bad.
$150 at the most if you get a brand new one from somebody that's high pricing it. One of my really good friends, Lloyd Arthur, he's an artist and he is a professional when it comes down to his music and the things that he does. And he has bought the top tier premium quality of everything. And he was like, you know, you want to use my mic? I'm like, sure. Like, you know, what's the difference? And he sent me a picture of this $2,000 mic.
Easy call.
And I'm like, sure, yeah, no, but I'm still like, you know, I'm still not getting it. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm thinking it's the name, or maybe it does something cool. Okay, cool, for sure. It's 2,000. Heck yeah, let me go ahead and use this mic. When I get to that mic, I mean, I can hear myself thinking on the microphone.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like,
I'm talking about way outside, the smallest movement. I'm hearing it in my. I'm like, what in the world? I'm talking about every breath, every syllable, every single sound.
You can hear yourself swallowing.
I can
like,
hear myself swallow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm like, this is top. This is something I've never experienced. It made me sing different. Because I was able to re-record.
Yeah, you hear yourself
there was stuff
HD.
I couldn't hear in my other mic until I started editing it. And this one, just in my recording, I'm like, oh, that wasn't it. I got to do that note again. Oh, I was a little flat right here because it's so crisp and clear.
Yeah.
It is so crazy. It definitely makes a difference.
Those little
Quality,
details, they matter. Like even with
man.
these mics, these are good mics. They're fair mics. But if you bump it,
oh yeah,
you gonna hear it.
Absolutely.
Those mics, you can bump those and not hear nothing.
Oh,
you can even adjust. Like the just the area of where the sound can come in. It's like it's
that technology, man.
I'm looking at some Shure mics. I'm looking at some new mics.
Yeah,
I'm looking at them. But
look,
all of that,
as long as we can hear,
as long as
And this is still upgrade, I think, from what you started with.
Look, okay. So I started with the phone. I started with the phone, then I went to the tablet, and now we got angles up in here.
I promise you, there's not going to be too many more months of this right here. You're going to have your own studio.
Man, I can't wait.
Somebody's going to hear it.
That's one of my affirmations.
One person. God, there's a million ways God can change our life. We just need one. It takes one person to see something that you've done, to see the heart you have with all these people that you've interviewed, all these people that you've interviewed, just to talk about people, just glorifying the gifts that God has given people and lifting and talking about and making people feel good about themselves. It takes one person to see that and be like, come over here, I want to do something for you, and boom. Your whole show can just turn into something overnight, and now you got your own studio, and you sitting somewhere. Like just the other day, we was talking about these mics, and now you got people coming in. What you need? you got mics all around you. Like what else?
Yeah.
And it's like at your fingertips. That day's coming, bro. I have 100% since I met you. Your faith level and the things that you speak, the things that you're dreaming of, they have to come to pass because you believe it. And the Bible says that anything is possible to him that believe. And then it says that if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, that you could move a mountain and ask it to be cast into the sea. And then it says also that faith without works is dead. You've mastered all those things. You already believe. You already speak that thing that you want to come to pass, which is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. That's what faith is. And then the part where it says that faith without works is dead, you're already putting in the work. You strive to be your best in every area. You push everybody that's around you. You're making it work. You started with one camera. Every time I see you, there's a new angle. There's a new this. You keep on progressing. You keep on speaking life into your thing, into your situation. I'm sorry it took me a year to get here, but I'm here now.
We in here.
And just my time, my schedule and me being in Los Angeles and back and forth all the time. I had to tell my boss no today because I still was supposed to be going to work in early for another 12-hour shift. I'm like, I'm not doing it today. I'm going to sit with my boy today so we can get this thing. But I'm just saying that all the progression is happening. The things that you dreamed of and that you have faith for, this is the process to get you to that place. And it may not always feel good in the process, and it may not always seem like it's not working. I've been doing it for this long. I've been doing it for that long, and I'm still waiting for my dream to come true. It's been 12 years. It's been 15 years. Sometimes it's just because we're not thinking right or we're not believing right, or this process is preparing us and giving us the strength to handle it when we get to that place. Because we say we want it, but we don't know how it feels until we're in that seat.
Big time.
You don't know how it feels when you're in that seat and you got hundreds of thousands of people reaching out to you and talking to you and depicting everything you say and clipping your videos and these people are the world today. They're taking different interviews and they're taking out parts to push a certain notion, which is not even true. There's stuff that we've been seeing
changing context and narrative. Yeah,
they're changing the context or the narrative of what that person actually said, and then the world believes it, and then it takes forever for them to undo that lie.
It's like credit.
And exactly. And even the Bible says that it would be easier and that people are more prone to believe a lie than to believe the truth. So if it feels good and it's juicy, we want to stick with that. We're going to run with that because nobody want to push good news. They want to push something negative. They want to push something everybody's talking about. You do good for 20 years. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's pushing out all this greatness you're doing. Nobody's talking about, did you see those people he helped? Did you see that homeless person? Did you see? But that one time you fall and do something stupid.
Yep.
For the next 10 years, we want to talk and harp on
that dumb thing that
you did, and we're gonna cancel him. Instead of you want to cancel me after all the money that he's put in your pocket, after all the good things I did that's made this company how it is, or at least gave you millions more. But now you want to cancel me from one stupid event or some dumb thing. Now, sometimes that thing is really dumb. You shouldn't have did that, and you lost everything.
Yeah, some people
but even then, sometimes it wasn't that big a deal. But the point is, people harp on the one bad thing you did, and as opposed to everything you did good goes out the window. I don't know how we got on that, but I just want you to be encouraged.
That's my favorite part about my show. We go off the rails here, all right? You got to go through it to get to it.
Yes, sir.
Right?
That would preach right there.
Yeah, that's one of mine. You got to go through it to get to it.
Absolutely.
This did not just happen like that.
Absolutely.
I mean, it can, but how authentic is it going to be?
Absolutely.
And
if it happens like that, it'll be gone like that.
Yeah, the good old crash and burn.
Yes, sir.
I have people hit me up all the time. Yo, what do I need to do to get started on the podcast? How did you start yours? What kind of tripod do you use? What kind of cables are you using?
Right.
Are you using wired mics or Bluetooth mics? I can tell you exactly what to get. I'll tell you where to get it. But I can't teach you this.
Exactly.
I can't teach you how to do you.
Absolutely.
I'll give you the game all day. Everybody said the game is to be sold, not to be told.
Yep.
I'm not there yet. I'm somewhat of a bad businessman. You can never play me.
Right.
But when it comes, I love this so much, and that's all I want to do is just spread the love.
Absolutely.
It's not cheap. I will say that. You can go cheap, but don't be mad when that quality is not there.
Not the same.
You really got to pay to play.
Absolutely.
If you want a quality product, you better spend that quality dollar.
Absolutely. Which means you got to put in that quality time to get that dollar.
And that's what I wanted to get. That's one of the things that I admire about you, because I make sure to do the same thing with everything that you have going on, with just church, making your own music,
Yeah.
going to work. Like you did what, 14-hour shift yesterday?
Yep.
With all of that going on, you still make the time to come check on the boys. You come hug my daughter. You make sure everybody's straight. I don't have a lot, but I got enough for us. We're going to go get some ice cream. We're going to go bowling. We're going to go to the movies.
Absolutely.
Like, it doesn't get any more selfless than that. And
Absolutely,
that's just one of the many traits that drew me to you, because that's how I get down.
Absolutely.
You still got to find I don't care how tired you get. You still got to make time for the people that love and care about you, and just for the people that you love and care about.
But when you're naturally that person, you don't even have to go create a time. You are that person, so it naturally, I mean, it doesn't matter how much I got going on. There's a part of me that is going to give to the areas that I know need me. My mom, taking care of my grandmother before she passed, and taking care of my grandfather to take care of her, bringing her in, taking away the youth and the things that I wanted to do as a young man, and going out and being crazy, or not crazy, but yeah, being crazy, going here, going there, doing
just
whatever.
living,
just living. You know what I'm saying? Just all over the place. I'm sacrificing those things to be home to take care of my grandmother, because I might have to take her to the hospital today. I might have to be here when she falls to pick her up, so I can't be all the way in LA. I got to be at home. There's times where I don't want to come screaming and harping down on the same thing with these kids, but I have to continue to be an example. I have to continue to be a voice of reason in their life, because one day they're going to appreciate the words that I've planted, the seeds I've planted in this soil. It's going to reap a harvest. It's just taking a long time, but it's going to happen. I show love to anybody that's around me, because that's just who I am. I don't know anything else. I can't be anything else. I make time for what you want to make time for. This is very true, but I'm just saying that when you are who you are, it goes without saying, bro, and it just flows, and that's just the heart of who I am. Just no matter who it is. I mean, just meeting a person. You need somebody, you call me. I may not even have time, but if they call me, I said if you call me, if you needed me, I will sit there, I will take 10 minutes and talk to them as much as I can for whatever they're needing. Except for all these people always calling me for money. And outside of that,
yeah, that's out. That's out, yo. Like, I can't.
I don't talk to these people for months, for weeks. You can go all week, all month without speaking, saying hi. But the moment you got a bill or a problem, you want to hit me up. Oh, can I get $20? Outside of that, because I'm not giving money to people that don't solidify their relationship with me. But my time and my prayer and my heart is free, because God gave that to me for free. So the grace that he's shown me is what I try to show to others. And no matter how many times I got to forgive a person, no matter how many times I got to, be there for somebody emotionally or spiritually, if I can, I just believe that that's what I'm called to do. That's just who I am. So those things do, I make time for that.
So with all that being said, how does Troy Anthony protect his peace?
Man, the Bible says that when you pray to God and when you keep him first, that he will guard your peace. Keep communication in my relationship with God strong enough that his angels and him being on me, because I'm in him and him being in me, he puts things and angels around me that guard my peace. He stops situations from coming in my environment to keep me from having to go off. It doesn't happen all the time, and that's usually when I'm not praying. I'm doing something else I got no business doing.
Yeah.
And when I start doing things my own way, then the devil finds ways to attack me, because that presence of God has been lifted.
We be straying sometimes.
And I be messing up. I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to, for the first time in my life, I'm absolutely sold out for living according to how God's will for me to live. And that is a hard place to stay in, because so many of my friends and people around me and temptations and the things that this flesh wants to do are not of God. But it's just, that's the call I've been accepted to minister his word and to be a Christian artist. That's not just on the record. That's not just when you see me in church. That's my lifestyle. That's what I live. That's what I have to breathe. So if I don't keep my relationship tight with God, everything goes haywire. Especially because of the gift and the anointing, the devil trying to take me out. I mean, I was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. My body was completely blue, and I was unresponsive, and the doctors were not sure how this was going to turn out. And my mom and my grandfather, they began to pray, and they just began to bombard heaven. And moments later, I did begin to cough and come back to breath. But I don't know how long I wasn't breathing, but they thought that it wasn't going to work. The fact that my whole body was blue, I have pictures. toes, body blue from being suffocated and not breathing. And the devil's from then has been trying to kill me because of the oil, because of the lives I'm changing, because of the people that I'm going after. And I haven't been perfect. I spent a lot of years smoking weed. I spent a lot of years being the most drunk one in the party and leaving with a car full of people, and I don't trust nobody else to drive but myself. And all these people seeing this anointed person, we seen you at church, but we didn't know you was good out here too. You drinking with the best of us. Like, you can't outdrink me. I mean, that's not to boast, but I'm good at everything I try to do. You know what I'm saying? And even in the bad things, I'm doing good at that. You know, I'm doing bad very well. That's what I mean. And I've had to learn how to come out. Some people don't get away with it, but I had to learn how to come out of those things. And that car accident that I got into almost killed me. And it wasn't that I was a drunk driver and I was all over the road, but I thought that I was above the law. I thought that I was above there was an exception for me. My mom tells me all the time, like, you live in your own bubble. You live in your own world. You're not out here with the rest of us. So you need to come down and come back to life, because you think that you could just do whatever and say whatever and be whatever and it don't affect you. And I had to learn, and that car accident almost killed me. My girlfriend at the time was in the front seat and Destiny was in the back seat. And I was riding. I had just left. This is the first time I've ever had, I think it was 50% alcohol, 50% proof whiskey. I ain't never seen it before. I'm like, this is crazy. One of the best, strongest whiskeys I've ever had. And I drove. I left my auntie's house chilling. We're drunk. I'm drunk, but I'm not like, I may have been stepping a little weird, but when I get behind that wheel, I'm gonna be fine. But I'm thinking like, I can go above. I can do it. Yeah, don't drink and drive if you can't handle it. That's not pertaining to me because I got this. That's the mentality I had, and the mentality that I had people that were watching me think that I was above.
We don't advocate that. So be safe.
No, we do not advocate that, and I'm saying that to say this is what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. And that night, I got behind that wheel, and I'm thinking like, oh, I got this. I'm cool. We're just going down the street, and ran through a red light, and that red light happened to be a freeway exit that I could not see because we were going under a bridge. So it just looked like there was a wall, and it looked like there was only cars coming from this way. There wasn't nothing coming from here. But I'm thinking I know so much. I'm thinking I'm good, but I'm clearly inebriated to a point that I'm not clearly paying attention and that I should not be making decisions to run a red light. And I went through that light, and that car came at 70 miles an hour through that light and ran right into us and spun me into a wall. I was out. My hand was broken. My ankle was fractured. My ribs were fractured. My neck, I was in the most pain I've ever been in my life. It took me 6 months to actually not even heal, just to walk again without medication. Every 4 hours I was taking, I'm talking about Narco, hydrocodone, all that strong stuff, every 4 hours just to be able to get out of bed. And I didn't even realize it until I couldn't get out of bed, and I had to tell my girl to go get those pills and bring it to me, and I had to stay there for 30 minutes and let it get in my system before I could move out of the bed.
Yeah.
It changed my life because I realized I have to do things the way that you're supposed to. It's easier to do wrong than it is to do right. But the consequences of doing wrong is so hard to come back from. And you will always reap what you sow. What you put out there, you want to always get a harvest back on that thing and that energy that you put out there. And I've been driving like a fool for years. And I ain't never hit nobody, but who knows who's affected by the way that they thought that I almost hit them.
Right, yeah.
I was in control. I wasn't finna hit nobody. But still, it was the fact that you don't know how all of that negative energy I've sown into driving came back and hit me like a mud truck. And it changed my life because now, and you know what? If I was by myself, I can't even say for sure that it would have did the damage it was supposed to do. But because my girlfriend at the time could have lost her life or been a paraplegic, because my best friend was in the car, if that car would have hit us in the center of those doors, they would not be here alive today. That is the impact and how heavy. If I showed you the pictures, I wish I had the pictures to show you, but it literally, that car was crumbled up, and it was nothing but the grace of God that those people lived and that I lived and that I'm not behind bars the rest of my life. If it would not have hit where it did, it would have killed her or it would have destroyed every bone in her body. The whole car on the inside was destroyed. The seats, the center console, everything was destroyed from the impact of that car accident. And every day I was just so down because I couldn't believe that I allowed this to happen to me. For years, like, that would never happen to me. That would never. I don't do that. I'm good behind the wheel. It's not always about your ability and you being good. Sometimes when you're doing wrong, it's gonna catch up to you, no matter how well you think you're doing it. So I had to come out of that mentality, that mindset. And this is, like I said, the first time in my life where I'm literally putting all of my energy into doing the right thing, even when nobody's looking, even when it's hard. It's hard to get in shape. I don't want to eat the right food all day, every day. I don't want to go to the gym with my homies every single night and still not have a six-pack when I get up. I want a donut. I want a double cheeseburger. I want some chili cheese fries. I want some alcohol. I want all this stuff I ain't supposed to have, and I want to still be in shape. And it don't work like that. You got to pay the price. You got to pay the cost. I got a song on the album called "The Boss," and it says you got to pay the cost to be the boss. You have to. There is no way around it. There is no way around you getting to that level without paying the time that you're putting into the process.
Yeah, one-way streets don't work.
It don't work. It's only going to take you one way, and that way is going to, the destination is there. You can't, it's a two-way. You got to be able to go. It's the reciprocity, the back and forth, even for ourselves. So if I want that body, I got to put the burger down. And I'm challenged in that every day.
That discipline will take you a long way.
That discipline, man.
You got to just.
Oh, my God.
You got to do it like you love it, even if you don't.
Absolutely. And a lot of times we think that because we're really disciplined in one area, that then negates all the areas where you're not. And just because you're doing really good in this area doesn't mean that you're okay to not do it. We got to be disciplined and do good in all the things that are required of us, so that is the harvest we receive back is all things working well. So yes, that discipline is a situation. Again, I don't know how we got on that rant.
No, this is good.
I was just going into how
that's what we do. This is what I do.
Faithful to the process is basically where we're getting at.
This is a lot of people's therapy, and they don't even realize it until, like, yo, that episode that we did.
Yeah,
I feel lighter.
Yes, for real.
I feel way lighter. I never told some people, at least like not as passionately. Like,
absolutely.
This is. Thank me later. No.
Absolutely. No, for real. We are freed by the words of our testimony. Testifying and talking about how you have overcome a situation reminds yourself in the situations that are currently attacking you, I can do it again. I can make it again. Even for somebody that's not believing in God, you put in the right positive attitude and the right positive mindset behind pulling or coming out of something. I know for a fact that it's God, even if they don't want to accept it. But you still did the right thing, because you're going to you're going to reap what you sow. So if you put in good seed, you're going to receive a good harvest. And that's just principle He set up, no matter who you believe in. So a lot of people are successful in doing their thing, and it had nothing to do, and they don't even believe in God, but it's Him. And even if they don't believe it, and what was I saying? I was saying that a lot of I don't forget what I was saying, Julius.
Staying on the path.
Just staying on the path. But you had said, what did you just say before that?
I be having short-term memory loss too.
It's all good. It's
just more so like I tell the kids all the time, you gotta maintain so you don't have to play catch up.
Absolutely.
You gotta. It's one thing that you did something good, but you gotta keep doing good.
Absolutely.
And when you keep doing good, you're going to keep getting rewarded. You're going to keep seeing good things happen to you. You're going to keep having better days.
Absolutely.
It's just how it works. It's a good cycle. You want to keep the good cycle.
Yes.
But you still got to maintain it. You still got to put the work in. We trip. We trip. We be tripping.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're not falling.
No, we're not. At least not over the same step.
Right.
If I fall, I'm not gonna trip over that again.
The last
sometime, but
you should be learning. You should be learning from every little step you take. If you trip that time, you better step over that. You can't fall if you ain't tripping.
Absolutely.
So just the fact that after your accident, you were able to admit to yourself and understand that I need to just sit down for a little bit and just humble up a little bit.
Absolutely, bro.
Because that's for a man's ego. Because I've done it. It's not easy.
Oh, no.
The hardest, I will never forget it. I stared myself in the mirror in the face. And it was just like, dude, you dropped the ball. It wasn't nobody. You did it. And from that moment, I was able to take criticism a lot.
Yep.
A lot better. Like, Like I'll be having to have conversations like, man, who the fuck you think you are?
Right.
You ain't above none of this.
Right.
Like just because you got what you got don't make you better than nobody else.
Absolutely.
If I stop right now, I'm gonna watch somebody be where I'm supposed to be at. And I can't even envy them because I know what I did and I know what I didn't do.
Exactly.
I'm the one who put the ball down.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I live by this. I know it looks good. I know it sounds good. I know it looks comfortable. I'm not comfortable.
Absolutely.
I'm comfortable enough. I'm not too comfortable. Because when you get too comfortable, you're falling asleep.
Absolutely.
And when you're falling asleep, you're not resting.
Absolutely.
I don't go to sleep. I go to rest. So I'm about to take y'all somewhere.
I'm telling you.
Shoot, I'm about to take y'all somewhere.
For real, bro.
Stay on your path. Like and it's easy for me to preach this. It's easy for me to talk this talk because y'all see me living it. You know what I'm saying? They see you living it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be liking everything on social media.
Yes.
I'll be watching you move crowds. I see you on stage with a giant projector monitor behind you.
Yes.
You're doing it. And we see it. So it's like if anything, it should motivate you because it motivates me. It's like, oh, Troy done did something. All right, we gotta pick it up.
Yes.
Let's get back up because when we come together, it's gonna be there's a viral moment in here.
Absolutely. It's coming, man.
Like,
it's
what?
coming. It is coming. It is coming.
Like I can't even fathom it sometimes. Like the other thing too is that it already happened. It's just a matter of time.
Absolutely. That process, getting our hearts ready and our mentality prepared for that next level. As sure as my hair is red, it's coming.
Right. And that's like my big bro Nip said it the best. Like he said, I feel so strongly about this. Like just like when you stand on the ground and you know you're not gonna fall through, you know it's gonna support you. That's how I feel about music. That's how I feel about my comedy. That's how I feel about my podcast. That's how I feel about the kids, the family. Like I feel like we already made it.
Yes.
It's just like I said before, we're gonna go through a whole lot.
Absolutely.
But when we get through that whole lot, we're gonna have a whole lot and we're gonna get a whole lot more.
Absolutely.
Like I can promise that.
Nipsey Hussle is one of the best examples all around. And a lot of people don't know that because they only know a few songs and they may have heard something that he was when he was on that tip. But Nipsey Hussle started from the very ground, and he didn't care what nobody said.
Literally, the curve.
He doesn't care what happened and how it happened. He was going to make it happen for himself. He turned down major deals. They asked him to play the role of Snoop Dogg in that movie, and he said, "I don't want to play that role because from now on they're gonna look at me and say that's the dude that played Snoop Dogg, and they will strip him from his identity as Nipsey Hussle." He could have took that opportunity. It was a millions of dollar opportunity. I don't know how much, but I know it was a lot of money to play Snoop Dogg. You know, I would have definitely catapulted his career in another direction.
Commended him
to a huge level.
He was like, "Yo, I had no choice but to respect it. I felt."
But he believed in himself and had faith that I'm gonna get where I need to be on my own. And Hustle Entertainment is what I'm going after. And I believe that he would still be here today if he had not. I don't know. I don't want to speak those things, but it's just like if you live by the sword, you die by that sword.
Yeah, 1,000.
And that's why it is so important that you be careful on the things that you're planting and the seeds that you're sowing, because there's a harvest coming. And you can't live in the streets and go around. I'm not saying that he did any of things because I wasn't with him in the streets, but according to a few of the tracks I may have heard, you can't live in the streets and go after and especially this gang violence, and you thinking that you have the right to take someone else's life because you just don't like the color they're wearing and because you don't like them on the street. Your mama probably don't want you. She put you out a long time ago and wants you on this street. Yeah. And you're going to kill him because he got the wrong color and they're supposed to be on the street.
It's real.
And then you're supposed to live a great long life. You can't do both. You can't do that. And I don't know for sure what he was doing, but I'm just saying that lifestyle that he was trying to come out of, because he was making a difference in the hood, he was doing what he needed to do, and he was making a lane for his children, for his people. But I just believe that that situation that took him out, I don't think was necessarily even gang related. But it's just the fact that was what, we don't know what he put into the soil. We don't know what he was doing as he was building that, because he was a G in the hood. They had respect for him. And you got to do some stuff to build that respect. So it just, my prayers go out to him and his family, but it's just like he is a great example, and I love him. I really do. I can't listen to all his stuff, but there's a few stuff that he's spitting some real. Everything.
There's some low vibrations in there. I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I get it, but just the same way that I watched him elevate, and mature,
yes,
is the same way I want people to watch how I was and mature from that.
Absolutely.
Because even when we had the party, when we had the housewarming party, Cinco de Mayo, and Tina's birthday, even my mom, she got at me a little bit, like, boy, put that up.
Yes.
Put that up.
Yeah.
You not over there no more.
Right.
What you doing? You around everybody that love. You better tuck that in.
We're not in Los Angeles.
I did it. I listened
we're
to
not at the
I listened
hood.
to my mom. Hey, mom. I listen. I tucked it away.
Oxnard, California.
But just look. It's all here.
Yes.
I watched my hero do it. I'm doing it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I don't pray a lot, but when I do, things be happening.
Absolutely. Imagine the things that would take place if you prayed more often.
I know it's scary. I don't know if I'm ready for it.
But you also,
it sounds crazy, but I don't know if I'm ready for it.
But you're also not ready to lose opportunities because you're not in tune. Sometimes there's things you can avoid if you just was praying more. He'll lead you. He'll show you. He'll something just from your regular every morning, like, God, what you want me to do today? And that's a lot of times people say, well, I don't know how to pray. All you got to do is just wake up and just start thanking him for everything you have. Just start thinking of everything and just tell him, Lord, lead me and forgive me. First of all, always start with forgiveness. Forgive me for not praying. Forgive me for not thinking about you. Forgive me for not consulting you first. And then just move forward. Bless me, cover me. I hope that I have a great day. What would you have for me to do? Protect my children, protect me from danger, seen and unseen. Just do it on your way to work. Just do it when you're getting dressed. You can just think it. You don't got to get down on your knees and stop all the time, but just have that prayer just means communication and conversation with God. Continue to make sure that he hears from you. And the more you talk to him, he'll talk back to you. And he'll lead you through certain situations. He'll tell you where to go. There's going to be a 50% off deal on the $200,000 equipment that you need.
That's how I got mine.
I'm telling you, like, there's all kinds of different ways that we don't have to go through as much as we go through if we would just take a little more time with the Creator, because he knows all things. We down here trying to figure it out. He knows already. So it's silly for us to be like, I got it, I'm going to just figure it out, and it's my truth. The truth is already available. Okay. Let's just stop and see what the Creator has to say about it.
You're going to mess around and get into accidents like us, and you don't have no choice but to sit down.
Then you be forced to sit down.
I was pissed.
Jeez,
when I got in my accident. I was pissed. I didn't think about nothing else. First of all, the Packers lost that day.
Right.
Second of all, I'm on my way to go get some money. Third of all, my birthday is the next day, and I got to sit down because I was doing too much and moving too fast.
Could have been dead.
There's crash, and there's crash and burn. Thankfully, I only crashed. Thankfully, I crashed. Y'all know the story. I crashed.
Yes.
I broke both my arms. And believe it or not, I got up and walked to the ambulance.
Come on now.
There's people that have died for less.
Oh, my goodness.
And that is how that's when I knew, too. That was something else. That was him like, man, you keep playing. Stop playing much.
Stop playing.
Oh, you don't want to listen? Both arms broke. Go shoot basketball now.
Jesus.
Go ride your motorcycle now. You don't want to listen? And my mom had to get that in. I don't listen to a lot, but I listen to my mom and I listen to my stomach.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm doing a lot better at listening and taking advice from people because honestly, I used to be, I was close-minded to the point where I ain't listening to you if you ain't doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to listen to you if you ain't been through what I've been through. I'm slowly but surely getting out of that because everybody has their own story.
Yes.
Just because they're not doing exactly what I'm doing and how I'm doing it doesn't mean they don't have something to offer.
Absolutely.
You know,
and there's more than one way to learn that same lesson.
Right.
I may not have been through what you've been through, but we both have the same understanding, and we both have learned the same lessons in different ways for different reasons. So when you tell me that I can't tell you nothing because I'm never lived in the hood like you did, well, I did live in the hood, but because I was not an active hood nigga, how you lived your life, you know, you a church boy, you ain't got no idea what I'm talking about. My godbrothers did. I may not have done it myself, but I still know based on the environments I was in. So me telling you something is still a truth,
Right.
whether or not you wanted to hear it from me or not.
1,000.
It's still a fact, rather how I learned it or how you learned it. So the point is that the fact is yet a fact. It wasn't an opinion. That was truth.
Right.
But you don't want to accept it from me because you didn't live it. You didn't learn it the way I learned it.
Right.
So no, I definitely feel you, and I'm glad that you're growing from that because
Do you know
that will
how
keep
hard
us bound.
that is?
It is.
That's like it gets hard. It's like
Absolutely.
dang, like he right, but it didn't. But nah, ain't no but about it, bro.
Just
Ain't
like
no
listen
but
to your
about
kid
it.
when your kid tell you something like you stuck like. Yeah, well, do it anyway. Because it was right what you said, but, she broke it down. What I said might not have been that order,
Yeah.
but you got the point. Go do it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But in this heart, you don't want to listen to the kid because the kid tell you the truth, but it's like, I don't care. I'm the parent. You do what I said. And we may have to apologize later and be like, you was right. But at the time, I wasn't finna just let you win.
I'm still
I'm
the
still
Papa
daddy,
Bear.
so you going to listen.
All right. So this is gonna be a wild question, but when I pray, right, I thank God for some opportunities that I might have passed by, if it makes sense. Because I'll tell him like, thank you for allowing me to be strong enough to handle situations. Like, thank you for giving me the situations that I could handle.
Yes.
And thank you for steering me away from the situations that I couldn't handle, or even opportunities.
Yes.
And one day I was just thinking to myself, I probably had like a cookie with an extra ingredient in it, and I was just thinking like, does anybody else thank him for not having certain things?
I'm telling you.
You know what I
I
mean?
tell people all the time, I said, I thank God for the doors he's opened, but I also thank God for the doors he closed. Sometimes I was praying for a door to open and didn't know what was behind the door. And he closed it and he opened up a door that I thought I knew was behind it and didn't want. And ended up going through that door and it ended up taking me to get what I thought I was going to get from there and even more. Or I went through this door and realized that door that I wanted to go through, I really didn't want. And sometimes there's doors that he'll close, opportunities that he'll close that we are not even aware of. Sometimes he'll guard us from even letting it come our way. Because if somebody come and offer me $100,000 to do for any kind of deal, it's going to be real hard to turn that down, depending on if it's morally correct or not, because
Right.
of the situation I'm in and the money that I need. So obviously, if it's morally correct, I'm not going to do nothing crazy. But anybody with a record deal that comes to me right now, like, oh, we want to give you $2 million, I'm going to have to sit with that thing for a minute, and it's going to be real hard to say no. And I don't know if I'm one of those people who are strong enough to say no because I don't know if God's leading me. Like, I'm like, well, let's just figure it out. If it's wrong, if it don't work out, at least I made $2 million out of it, and
because
I'll fix it later.
Shoot, if my stomach start hurting,
I'll fix it later. But
I might have to ignore that.
right.
Like, give me that $2
But
million.
exactly, if you feel that in your gut, like don't do it. That's you having that peace of God. When you think about making a decision and you don't have no anxious, no feeling, then maybe that's God leading you. It's okay. When you think about doing something, you got that feeling in your gut, and you got that like, ooh, I just can't get over this. That's God telling you not a good move. Run.
This is this is when I really started listening to my gut. Believe it or not, it was a woman that taught me to listen to my gut.
Yeah.
And this was a girl that I was crazy about back in the day. Ex-girlfriend. I was crazy about her. She was taking advantage. Right? She was taking advantage, but I couldn't come to terms with it. I didn't want to accept it. It's like, nah, she's not. I got people telling me like, bro, she playing you, dog. Nah, she's not. Y'all just hating because, you know what I mean? One day she hit me up. Hey, I'm having issues, can you swing by? I was like, well, what's going on? And, she needed her rent paid. And I had done it before. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, I got you. Don't trip. You know what I mean? And then as soon as I stepped foot in that room, like I got to the house and, we just talked. She was eating. And I had sat down, and my stomach started hurting. And then we're like talking for a little bit. I was like, "Are you good? Like, what's going on?" She's like, typical sob story. I need my rent paid and blah blah blah. They're giving me a hard time about the rent. And I was just like, because I had it in my pocket. I had it, and on the way there, I was ready to give it to her. But she had said something that kind of confirmed my stomach. She was like, so Like, what did you come over here for? Like, did you come over here to, like, just check on me, or did you come over here to help me pay my rent? And then I was like, all right. I was like, nah, I just came to check on you, but I still kept a G. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Of course.
I was like, nah, I just came to check on you, but yeah, I hope you get that figured out. And I gave her a hug and I walked out.
Yes.
And when I walked out of that house, I can't tell you the weight that lifted off of my shoulders,
Absolutely.
my stomach. I felt untouchable.
Oh man.
Because I listened to
Listen to that
myself. And look at me now.
Yes.
And it was like,
Dodged
it was right
a good
there.
bullet.
Like,
Dodged a bullet.
Sure did.
And you can say it was yourself, but I'm going to say it was God using you and telling you using what He could to get your attention to move. Because we can't really. I mean, we can listen to that or not. You yourself was listening to that vibe and saying, "No, I'm gonna make a move." God protecting you from that situation because He can see further than we can. Without that gut, you probably would have done something different.
Dude, I would have gave that money up like I always did.
Exactly.
I used to just ignore it, but it
Exactly.
hurt so bad.
Exactly.
It like I felt like I wanted to throw up. But then once I heard her, once she said what she said, that's when I was like, all right, yeah, I just came to check up on you. Hug. I hope, it'll work itself out.
Right.
And I'll tell you, I went to the mall. I went to the mall.
I'm going to spend this money on something for myself. I know that's right.
Because it just turned in like I never disrespected her.
Yeah.
But it just turned into, man, forget all that.
Yes.
My rent paid.
Yes.
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
That's good for people that may not be, no offense to you, but that's good for people that may not be like super God conscious, don't go to church, they don't pray all the time. There's still a vibe and a feeling that you get that you need to listen to. Sometimes you need to follow your spirit sometime when it's telling you no about something. And my ex wasn't using me, but she was, my grandmother was passing at the time, and I was not solidified in this relationship like I wanted to be. And part of it was because I was assuming that there was something else. I wasn't for sure if she was cheating. I'm still not 100% sure, but I was praying about it because I need to know going forward. There was a lot of different arguments and things happening that I didn't want to deal with, but my gut was telling me something is off. And I can't really figure out what it is, but something is off. And I ended up having an opportunity to see some of the messages that she was having and some of the guys that she was talking to and the things that were taking place behind the scenes. I'm working a job. I done moved her into my house. I'm paying for this. I'm paying for that. I have a very expensive ring set to the side that she doesn't even know about that's going to take me a little while to pay off, that I'm getting ready to propose to her shortly because it's about 1.5 years at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like I'm going to make this work. If the foundation is solid, then everything else will grow, will change, will make it happen as we go, because it don't take a man a whole bunch of years to find out if the woman that he's talking to is the one he wants. I'm the man, so I'm in control of this relationship, how it's going to go from here. As long as your foundation is right and you have allowed me to be in charge and you submit to me as I submit to God. People don't like when I say that, and they submit. I don't submit. If you're submitting to the right person and the right person is submitting to God, everything you need, I have, do, I give, I take care of. It's not you submitting to someone who's not giving you and fulfilling all your needs. You shouldn't have to want for nothing. I got everything we need going forward. You got money, you got stuff. That's spend it on whatever you want to. I got our life in my hands, and God has me in His hands, and He's going to direct and lead me where we are supposed to go. And it wasn't going like that. It wasn't going like that. And I had the opportunity to see some of the messages that she was having and some of the things that she was having. In my gut, I was just like, this isn't good. And I expressed it that this is not okay. You cannot be having these type of conversations with these men and not having even mention my name or nothing. These guys just want to hit it. I'm sitting here working and doing all I'm doing and trying to take care of us, and this is what you're doing all night or every day on your phone while I'm at work. It just wasn't going to work for me. And had I not listened to that to try to figure out, I'd end up marrying this girl and found out later, after having to spend all this money to get married and then all this money to get divorced, this money to do this stuff. We ain't just in love. We start getting married. It is money going for it.
Out.
I don't play about my money. I work too hard because I play too hard. And I ain't got time to be wasting money in a situation or time or effort in something that is inevitably going to come tumbling down. So sometimes listening to that vibe, yes, everything was good. Yes, the sex I shouldn't have been having was good. But it's just before marriage. But it still is like you have to understand that you got to, sometimes there's an uncomfortable situation that you need to make, or it could make or break a huge part of your future or life. And who knows how it would have been if I would now have a child with this girl and not together. Now I got to go through divorce and having the very thing I'm trying to avoid. I don't want any of my children to grow up the way I grew up, with my parents not being together, my dad doing what he want, my mom doing, taking care of me. I want us to be connected. I don't want that co-parenting. I see you every weekend. We got to share time. No, I want it to be the way it was set up, that a child needs his mama and his daddy for the duration of his life until he get to a place where he can be on his own. And I just believe that that's how it's supposed to be. So I want to make sure that the foundation is correct and that I follow that to the end. I don't want to not listen to my gut and allow me to get into a situation because it's comfortable or because it makes me look a certain way or feel better. I want to make sure that the things I'm doing are right. And for me, it's the Holy Ghost. It's the anointing that tells me what to do, what not to do. For someone else, it's still that, but they may not identify it as that. They just may say, it's my gut. It's just a feeling I got. People always say, something told me. I'm like, God told you, fool. It was God. But people don't want to give him his credit all the time, and that's okay. That's okay to say something. Something told me that was the wrong way to go, and you got home and found out there was a shooting on that street. Something told me not to go that way, and I'm going to walk this way. Sometimes the kids, like, something told me just to get on this bus and not that bus, and something break out on that bus or a fight or something happen. Anything can happen at any time to anybody. So being conscious of your feelings and being aware of your surroundings and your spirit realm is so important, so vital.
All right, let me tell you this. If you want to feel that feeling times 10, eat right.
For real, because sometimes I just be gas.
I promise you, man. I promise you.
Yes, that's real.
The closest I felt to being godly, and I know we're not supposed to say that, but we created in his image.
There's nothing wrong being godly.
I felt it when I did no cooked food. I did no cooked food for a month. Yeah, I lost weight and I did look scary, but I felt amazing.
Yeah.
I smelled better. Like, I mean, I didn't have to use deodorant.
That's
like,
true.
My breath smelled better.
I've heard of that.
No BO. Even when I went to the bathroom, it was odorless.
Yes.
I slept or I went to rest better. Like, everything was like, just imagine rising up and you don't even have to stretch.
Right.
You just up. Or when you go to like wipe oil off of your face and it's not there.
Man.
Or you don't have no heartburn, or you like normally when you get up, right, and you start the beginning of your day, a lot of people are nasally, they're congested.
Right.
It's gone.
Wow.
You watching everybody get sick around you.
And you
good. Kicking it.
Man.
Let me get a double burger with fries. Julius, what you getting? Let me get that acai bowl with some peanut butter.
Right.
And some almonds. Like, what? Somebody told me, like, man, you eat like a rat. I love her to death. What's up, Elena? She said, you eat like a rabbit. I was like, that was funny. I let that go because it was funny. But I'm trying to stop this whole thing of just black people in general, just with high cholesterol, high blood pressure.
Yes, bro.
Everything in the book is high except our vibration.
Yes.
If you want to vibrate higher, you eat food that vibrates higher.
Absolutely, bro.
Does it taste good? Hell yeah. I miss the hell out of Taco Bell.
Oh, man.
I miss Taco Bell. I miss Jack in the Box. Those are like my two favorite. Burger King.
Absolutely.
What?
Absolutely.
But when you eat food that is closer to the sun, and when you eat food that is living, when you eat food that comes from the earth, you feel it.
Yes, bro.
You feel it. When things around you vibrate high, it attracts. When you eat good, you vibrate good, you attract good.
Yes.
Like, it's scary. I can't.
It's
I
real.
Can't make
it's
it
real.
up. I cannot make it up.
I have never gone that extreme, but we were on the Daniel fast. Me and my family for preparing for something, and our task was not to eat red meat.
Oh yeah, that's a good start. That's an amazing start.
We were only eating like fruits and vegetables, and if I did have meat, it was chicken or something like that. And I can't explain to you how different and how much more like vibrant I felt, like you were saying, like in the mornings and different things that I would normally be like, oh, I'm sluggish, or I normally don't have this or that. I'm like, I didn't feel that today. Like, what's going on? It's been 2 weeks with no red meat, and
it's real.
I'm feeling so different. And it's just like, we were never created to eat those animals. We were supposed to live in the garden and never die. And I always tell people when I get to heaven, I promise you, I'm hoping he'll put me off of this. I'm gonna kick Adam, and it wasn't even really Adam.
Hey, you got some explaining to
I'm
do,
gonna
sir.
kick Adam right in his spiritual neck. And if I can, and if Eve is anywhere close by, I'm gonna trip her somewhere when God ain't looking, when I'm on my way to my mansion. Because I'm mad at them.
Man.
I'm so mad at them. And I know that it is nothing. It's just the devil.
They fell to temptation.
But we were supposed to live and not die. And we were supposed to, it was when sin came into the world that now we have to, the people, they realized they were naked. And now we were killing animals and blah, blah, blah. He made it okay then because sin came in. But it's just like we weren't created for that. We're supposed to be able to live and not die off of these vegetables and greens and all this stuff that just naturally comes from the earth. So I definitely feel you on that. I know that is different, but that's a hard pill to swallow because I'm gonna have my ribs. I'm gonna have my bacon. I'm gonna have these things because
is it phone check time?
People.
I got a segment of this phone check time. We're gonna get back to the seriousness. Shoot, my phone's going off too. Hey, real quick though. Hey, yeah, quiz. This is part of the show where we check our phones. Hold on, let me turn this volume up. We're gonna listen to some music real quick though. You know what I'm saying? Oh shoot, I wanna find. No, did I push something? Skip. Hang in there. Wait, no, play it. Okay, good. I'm still taking donations so I can pay for YouTube Premium. By the way,
for real.
So I can skip these ads. Ladies and gentlemen, Troy Anthony, off of Shades of Red. It's called Hang In There. And even though the fight's been fixed, oh, it's not gonna let me check my phone and do music at the same time. Anyways,
even though the fight's been fixed, I still find my hands in it. And learning how to trust God ain't easy. To put my faith in someone I can't see. Oh, but then I remembered.
I'm gonna pause that. We're gonna do a little bit of lyrical breakdown too, because just because you can't see it, don't mean it ain't there.
Man,
y'all know I got a foot in here. Y'all know there's a foot in this shoe.
But you can't see it.
You can't just don't play with me, man. Y'all know I got a heart right here. Just because you can't see it don't mean it don't exist. I said this, I think it was, which podcast did I say it on? It was one of my episodes. I said, what you can't see is eternal. And everything that you can see, feel, touch, smell, everything that you can do with the senses it's temporary.
Yep, that's real. I agree with that.
It's temporary.
I agree with that.
They say you can't buy nothing with 2 cents. You can with mine.
The last time I watched impossible turn possible. Oh, then I looked up and said,
this is a gospel record, y'all.
Right. So I'ma keep on holding on, no matter how I feel. Just a little longer. A little longer.
Gotta get through it to get to it. Ooh, I'm gonna do ad-libs on your next project.
I got you. Come through.
A little longer, hanging there. A little longer. Everything gon' be alright. Alright. Everything gon' be alright.
So that one sounds like 4. That's a 4 stack. Oh, come on! I still got it.
I've been real sick 2 times with COVID-19, and I could have died, but I
for you to go to high to low like that.
From the one that lost, but I still made
years of practice.
No one could imagine this pain.
And this sound like exercise. This sound like a sparring match.
I'm about to say it. I'll be honest. It's just second nature. Muscle memory at this point.
Do you ever just like because sometimes you have to do this. Because I do it. I'm only gonna practice what I preach, and I'm only gonna tell you things. I'm only gonna suggest what I do. Yeah, right. Do you ever just sit back and just admire your work, like just a set of headphones on? It's like, yeah, I do that. Yeah, you hear that? You hear that voice? You hear that? Yeah, that's me.
Man, when I'm finished with a song and I'm sitting there like I got just this past I'm gonna even say in the past 2 weeks. That's how long I've been working this new night job. A friend of mine put me onto a new app called Splice. Splice gives me the opportunity to download sounds, search for the sounds I want, all kinds of sounds, all kinds of instruments, and I basically have taken all these different instruments and sounds and I've created songs with them. I have written and have recorded 14 songs in the past 2 weeks. That just I was feeling like Chris Brown.
Oh yeah, that's when we was talking. The night before last night.
Yes.
Yeah.
I literally just I mean, it just and finally because I created the music I wanted, it was my type of vibe because I created it. I mean, not created it, but I put it together and created the track I wanted, and then the music would just download and it was flowing. And every single one of those songs, I'm just sitting here listening to it, and I'm like, this is it. This the one. This the one gonna get them on their feet. I'm listening to the harmonies and the things I've come up with, and I'm listening to some of the R&B influence that I've taken and some of the choruses that I've used. I should have brought it so I could let you hear one of them and give y'all an exclusive insight. But boy, when I tell you, I was sitting there like, I love this. I'm sitting here like, I don't care who don't rock with this. So yes, when I'm finished, when I'm in that studio and I've got that finished product that I think is dope, I'm like, I've listened to it over and over and over because and every time I'm like, and I was screaming at the end. I paused. I'm like, I gotta play that again, bro. That was just. I'm like, did you hear where this nigga just went on this chorus? I'm saying it to myself.
Yeah.
Or I'm talking to Destiny and I'm telling her because Destiny is my confidant. I talk to her. I run it by her. Like I listen to it and I'm crazy. So I'm like, I've been listening to it all the time. You hear it. Tell me what you think. She'll listen to it and she'll just be like, man. I'm just like, and my mom too. My mom was always. Sometimes she's like, that wasn't it. But she's my biggest supporter. So she always tell me the real, the truth.
Good. That was gonna be my next question. Go on.
And same thing with Destiny. She won't lie to me. She's like, yeah, that was cool, but this didn't make sense, or I didn't. You should probably work on that. And I don't always listen because I liked it, I loved it, and we're gonna do this. But sometimes it's on purpose. That thing that they feel like, you probably should have did that. Well, I had that in mind the whole time. I knew it was gonna be a little weird, but I still want to do that because it still might be the one song that went viral because it was different, or maybe the one song that like I remember Wiz Khalifa saying that he thought that. I don't remember what song it was, but he thought that a specific song was gonna be the one that hit. And it was the one that he didn't like the most on the record that everybody loved that hit. And he was like, I don't even know how that happened because I would have never expected it would have been that song. So that's why I'm like, sometimes I do what I feel regardless. But man, I love doing music. I love to create. I love these harmonies. I love to push the limits. How many runs can I do with 3-part harmony from top to bottom? Who else is doing that? And if they are, like, I'm taking bits and pieces, like, I'm just doing it the way that it comes to me. And, I sit there sometime in awe. Sometimes I'm just like, in the midst of it, I don't even realize until after it. Every time I'm finished, I close it, I'll go to something else, or I just close it and I come back the next day. And when I hear it the next day, I almost forgot what I did. And I'm sitting here like,
I love when that happens.
I'm like, oh my God, bro, did you hear that? I'm saying to myself, like right now, I have 2 songs that I wrote this morning. As soon as I got off work, I recorded it with a little bit of voice. I did some pitch correction, and then I went to sleep. And I was supposed to just normally go to sleep. So I don't even remember it, but I'm going to go listen to it when I get to work to figure out what did I do this morning. And I know I'm going to be blown away. Because it's fire. It's fire. I love what I do.
We need that here at the Realquicctho. I need that.
Yes, we got you.
So how important is it to you, or how do I phrase this question? Because
actually, my computer's in the car. I will grab it and give you some insight on at least one.
We're going to do that when we get upstairs because we got about 15 minutes.
15, okay.
But as far as, have you ever made something trash on purpose and then showed it to somebody and then they'd be like, oh yeah, this is dope, when you know it's not? Like, how you deal with the yes men?
I typically, a yes man has a certain look and has a certain I hate to be spiritual about everything, but I'm very spiritual. So I can see when somebody is just yesing to get what they want, or just whatever I say. Those people I don't even have around me, because I have enough of those, especially being a star. I'm not a star, but I feel like a star. In certain areas, I have places where there's people that are going to always tell me that was great. Oh, we just love when you sing. I mean, there were Sundays where I was terrible, and somebody, oh, I just love when you sing. No, you did fine. You did great. I'm like, okay, God bless you. And I already know not to ever come to you because you ain't going to tell me the truth. But I keep the people close to me that I don't have yes men close to me. And the ones that are, I take what they say with a grain of salt. And what they're saying is true because I liked it too. But there was this one song that I was really mad one day. I was really super angry, and I did this song. I was just because I can. I'm the recorder. I wrote about how I felt. I was mad at some people. I was mad at some situations, and I just wanted to hear myself talk like that. And I'm like, I would never put this out, but it was terrible. And I mean, I was cussing, and I was angry, and I was just letting how I felt in my mind go crazy.
And watch that be the track.
And you'll never hear it. You'll never hear it. I think I already deleted it because it was so bad. But it was just something I felt in my heart, and I was like, ugh, I just want to say this for once. And it felt like somebody was going to hear it, even though they weren't. And I do remember playing it for somebody. It was just like, I mean, it's kind of cool, but like it don't fit you. I'm like, thank you for telling the truth, but it wasn't that cool. But it was just terrible. But that was like the only thing that I've created on purpose. It was your question. That was something I made on purpose. That was bad. I was angry. I was drinking. I was mad, and I just wanted to get those feelings out on paper, like all these rappers do, and like talk however I felt. And wasn't nobody gonna be edified, wasn't nobody gonna feel better after hearing that besides one to go and slap somebody. So it was just like, this ain't the one. But
sometimes we vibrate low, but we only human, and ignorance is bliss to the point where it'll bring us down.
Absolutely.
But we get into my least favorite part of the show, which is the end.
Oh man!
Because if we was upstairs, it'll be a whole nother. Actually,
2 hours.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I actually like the fact that there's a time limit here because it makes me have to get up.
Yep,
and then all that does is it just motivates and it creates a reason to come back a second time.
Absolutely.
So let everybody know where they can find you. I'm going to put some music back on.
Yep. The Instagram is I am red, like the color, like the seat. I'll see it. Like the hair. Troy Anthony is spelled as if it was pronounced Ant Honey, so don't forget the E before the Y. And you can search me on any social platform, and you could find me that way. If you just type in my name, Troy Anthony, spelled with the E-N-E-Y, E before the Y, you can find me anywhere. Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, all the places.
A minute, portion, or point of time.
Oh yeah,
I like this one too.
And sometimes I spend those focused on
just
what
like
I
that.
can have. Whoa.
This has been another beautiful addition to the Realquicctho podcast, man. Y'all, hey, Black Truffle TV, Troy Anthony. I am Red on all social medias. If I heard right, because I'm waiting for a little bit. 2 eyes. But y'all know how I get down. We are always smiling over here. The sun don't set over here. And Jack Live. Can't fall if you don't trip. Peace.
You can see it, but it's untainable. That moment when you need something for certain that it's yours, but it's on a slow roll. Now it's something else when you don't have all your needs. That's where it hit different, 'cause I feel